So now there's an NXT Women's Tag Team Championship. Great! I'm Chris Wolvie, the wrestling blogger who always tells it like it is. So 2 years after its inauguration, the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships finally got challengers from NXT in the form of Candice LeRae and Raquel Gonzalez when they won the first ever Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. And it went about as well as one would expect, as in not at all. The sudden appearance of Adam Pearce to usurp Lord High Chamberlain William Regal's authority and, in essence, give the title match to Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax was disappointing at best. And man, was Regal besmirched, as he would say, at the decision. He felt Pearce overstepped his bounds solely to keep those white belts on Raw and SmackDown, which, he does have a point. The way he could have beaten Baszler and Jax if given a proper chance. But just because the ref was KO'd, Pearce felt the need to usher out another ref instead of waiting for the ref to be slapped awake by somebody, thus giving the champs the victory. Well, Regal decided that the women of NXT deserved much better, so just after announcing NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver for the Wednesday and Thursday before WrestleMania, he presented LeRae and Gonzalez with smaller versions of the white belts and proclaiming them the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. Now I know what you're thinking. You think I'm about to rail on the WWE for adding yet another unnecessary title to its pantheon, and that since I was against the Women's Dusty Cup from the get-go, I must be against these titles as much as, if not more than, the WWE version. Well, surprise! I actually think this is a good idea, at least as far as NXT is concerned. Sorry. See, one of the problems I have with tag teams these days is, as I have stated several times, the fact that the titles end up around the waists of two superstars who only hooked up a few weeks before. And the WWE Women's Tag titles are no exception. They are currently held by two people who mere months ago couldn't stand each other, and in a way still can't. And they are being challenged next week by two people who can't stand each other now. I still pine for the days of established tag teams holding the titles. But, you see, NXT is a whole different story. I still hold that since NXT's inclusion in Survivor Series in 2019, NXT is an equal brand to Raw and SmackDown, and NXT has all the talent when it comes to the women. Io Shirai seems to be booked as Asuka 2.0, Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart are bringing entertainment back to the show, the Robert Stone brand and The Way are excellent, and as we saw in the Dusty Cup, there are other ladies ready to take the NXT by storm. So by sheer numbers and talent, NXT has more than enough women to warrant a women's tag title, because it's a good way for the women to get more exposure. Yeah, that means it's highly doubtful we may ever have an established tag team holding these smaller white belts, but honestly, that may not be a bad thing. The more women want to get together to try for the titles, the more the women are exposed to the NXT universe. Plus, with all the women who are currently on the roster, at least they won't have to wait in line for a shot at the only title up until now. Now, the only downside about the introduction of the titles is that no sooner did LeRae and Gonzalez get their hands on the belts than Moon and Blackheart challenged them. And just over an hour later, Moon and Blackheart won the titles. As such, LeRae and Gonzalez won't go down in history as the first NXT Women's Tag Champs, as much as they will go down in history as the shortest reigning NXT Women's Tag Champs ever. And that's Now, that's just sad in my eyes. The least they could have done was wait a week while the Way basked in the glory. That was just poor booking, in my opinion. So, yeah, I actually like that NXT has a women's tag title. Much more than the Raw SmackDown women's tag title. And though it seems NXT is still being treated like a gateway to the red and blue brand, the black and gold brand are starting to carve that niche harder into the foundation of the WWE as being separate but equal. All they need now is for an NXT superstar to steal the 24/7 title for a week or so, and they'll have the utmost respect as the WWE's third brand, in my opinion. I'm Chris Wolvie, the wrestling blog, who always tells it like it is. Stay safe, and I'll see you